No matter which Rickenbacker 4005 model or vintage that you own, long scale strings are recommended for all models. This includes the original 4005 bases produced from 1965 through 1984, the 4005V models produced since 2024, as well as the short scale 4005XC 90th anniversary bases, which were produced in 2021 and 2022. There are 4 household items I suggest you have on hand before restringing your 4005. The 4 items are wire cutters, a soft cloth that's about a foot square, low tack painter's tape, and a small Phillips screwdriver. Your new 4005V will arrive with round wound strings. This will make about 50% of buyers happy, but will mean an immediate restring if flat wound or tape wound strings are more your style. Either way, there are a few things you should be prepared for, since the 4005 and 4005V have an R tailpiece and a floating bridge, which are very different than restringing a standard bridge on a solid body base. This same information applies to the 4005XC, which has a trapeze tailpiece. It's important to understand from the beginning that the recommended way to restring your 4005 is by following these steps to get the job done as efficiently as possible and to avoid damaging the finish on your bass. Since the strings are anchored on the bottom of the tailpiece, the easiest way to restring your bass is to remove the tailpiece altogether. However, before getting started, I suggest following these steps to ensure your restring process goes as smoothly as possible. The good news is that once you're done, you may never have to restring your bass again, depending upon the strings you choose. The first thing to note is both the tailpiece and bridge are largely held in place by string tension, so before loosening any strings, be sure to place the soft cloth below the tailpiece to minimize the chance of scratching the finish. Regardless of the model 4005 you own, the R tailpiece or trapeze tailpiece and strap button are held in place at the bottom of the bass by wood screws. Before loosening or removing any strings, the next step is to remove the bridge cover. The cover is secured to the bridge by a small Phillips screw on each side of the cover. These are easily removed and are small, so please put them somewhere safe. Once the cover is removed, I suggest loosening one string at a time before removing or cutting the string altogether. Once the strings are loosened, the soft cloth you previously placed under the tailpiece will ensure your finish is protected. Carefully move the loose strings to the sides so they're no longer sitting in the bridge saddles. Once the strings are no longer keeping the bridge in place, use a strip of painter's tape to secure the bridge to the body. Once done, carefully lift the tailpiece and remove the strings. There are channels for the strings on the bottom side of the R tailpiece. You'll need to seat all of your new strings now, so carefully seat each string before proceeding. The string channels are snug, so please note it may be necessary to remove a bit of string silk or lubricate the silk area near the ball end for the string to seat properly. Make sure all ball ends are snug before proceeding. Once everything is set, affix a strip of painter's tape across all strings to the bottom of the tailpiece. This will ensure your strings won't fall out when reattaching the tailpiece to the tail hook. If you own a 4005XC, although the trapeze tailpiece has no channels, you still may have to remove a bit of string silk near the ball ends or lubricate the silk to seat the strings properly before proceeding. Once the tailpiece is in place and lying on the cloth, proceed to trim and wind your new strings one at a time. Check the bridge saddle to make sure the string is seated in the correct place as you're tightening the string, and to make sure the 4 bridge height adjustment screws are properly seated on the bridge plate notches. Repeat the same process for the remaining 3 strings. When your strings are tuned and in place, remove the strip of painter's tape from the bottom of the tailpiece. Once everything is in tune and you've checked your intonation, reaffix the bridge cover with the 2 small screws, and you're done.